Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Baby Shower Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, Tobin Miller. It is comes with kind of great sadness that Matt Hardy will not be joining on this episode. I haven't heard from him in a long time, and as you guys have seen in the past couple episodes, Matt's been pretty upset with me. Is that what you would say? You would say that's accurate, right, Pat?
Yeah, I'm a little worried that maybe he took something to heart and, he just decided to just ghost us. And
Yeah,
not
like
show up.
he keeps on bringing up the fact that I will dig at him a little bit and that he can't take it, I guess. So and then also Jared, coming on the podcast and just totally disrupting it. I kind of told Matt that that's not the direction I want the podcast to go into. So we'll see. I hope he comes next week. But for now, he will not be joining us. I got to plug in this. Hold on a second. Can you plug in the
Yeah, I got it.
all right. Anyways, so we're going to try out something new this week. I'm just going to do a solo pod, and then maybe Patty Clips will chime in every now and then. Let me see where my stories are here. My laptop, so it doesn't shut down. Jesus, Patty. Without Hardy, we're in shambles. Did I already say like, subscribe, and comment, and share it with all your buddies? If you're a Matt Hardy fan, and that's the reason you're watching the podcast or have been watching the podcast, then I hope you stay with me. I have stuff to offer. But if not, I think maybe he'll start a new podcast. We'll see. But I actually invited Matt recently on a double. I matched up with this girl on Hinge, and I wanted to hang out with her Thursday night. I was like, "Hey, are you free Thursday night?" And she said, "Actually, I was going to hang out with a buddy Thursday night, but if you want to bring a friend, right, and go on a double date, then we can do that." And I've never been on a double date like that, like a Hinge double date where it's the first date, no one knows anyone. So I was thinking about hitting up Hardy, and he just didn't reply to my, we have a little tiff right now. But then I was thinking Tom Luciano. So I hit up Tom Luciano, who some of you guys, he's been on the podcast, but he's very attractive. After I sent the message to Tom, I immediately regretted sending it to him because he's an alpha guy. You know what I mean? Do you know Tom Luciano?
I don't, but he sounds Italian and attractive.
Yeah, he's a trade. He played Duke baseball. He's like a baseball player. He's the only thing that he has against he's bald. That's everything else is top notch.
Some girls like bald guys.
Yeah, and he throws the little sailor's cap on where you kind of hide it. But he's got a little hipster beanie that he wears. But I immediately regretted hitting him up for the double date because when you go on a double date, you don't want to bring in a more alpha guy than you because then both of the girls want him, right? You can't. But then I was actually thinking about hitting up Schwartz too. I was gonna hit up Schwartz, not like that he's some goon, but I feel like I would still be the prize between me and Schwartz. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how old were these girls?
I think they're 27.
So the age gap is maybe.
What's Schwartz? 25.
25. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
And also, he could keep a conversation. It'd be entertaining to just see Schwartz on a double date. And I was thinking, if I hit up Schwartz and he said yes, I was even thinking about messaging him, being like, is it okay if we bring a camera crew too? Because it would be good for the pod. I think that would be a fun episode, like a reality TV thing. But then I also was thinking, you don't want to bring to a better guy than yourself, like a Tom Luciano, but you also don't want to bring some schmuck because that also devalues you. They're like, this is who this guy's hanging out with. Not that that's short.
So would you say that Hardy's maybe on your intellectual level, same level, Flo?
Yes, that's why I think Hardy would have been a great choice because he's attractive, but he also wouldn't commandeer the whole date.
No.
He wouldn't strong arm me and like Tom Luciano may have just commandeered the whole thing. He would have just been talking a lot. He would have been trying to alpha me and stuff like that. I'd have to take him aside and be like, Tom, you need to chill out here. Yeah. I'm the main guy on the state.
Hardy's just that friendly dude coming into the group. He's just trying to hop around, introduce himself. Like, hey, what's this? What's that?
Exactly. And but then I also thought about it. He'd be like a little aloof. You know what I mean? He'd play it aloof, and that's also attractive for girls. You know what I mean? They're like, this guy is like too cool. It doesn't seem like he wants to hook up with either of us. Like this. So I also think that they would go. I just realized that I can't do double dates. No matter who it is. Like the ideal person would be me, but a little less funny, a little less cool, and a little less attractive. Like just a smidge. So I don't know. If I ever can clone, that'll be the big thing.
Clone yourself. And then
Clone myself.
Have you ever thought about what it would be like if you had like a twin?
I haven't thought about it in great detail, but I would you like it or no?
I would like it because like I had like an older brother and older sister growing up. We were just very different. So maybe like someone like myself. I don't know. That would have been cool. We'll see what happens. The
thing is, I don't know. Would you like to hang out with I don't know if I would like me. You know what I mean? If there's another person, I'd be like, you're getting on my nerves, dude. You need to relax, And also, the thing about the clones, people assume that one clone's success is transferable to the other clone. Like it's one per, you're like, some people are like, oh, I'll just clone myself and I'll get to do so many other things. You know what I mean? But like, no, the clone is its own separate human.
Have you ever found an instance where like you've seen a pair of twins and they don't like each other or don't get along? I really haven't seen that. Like I feel like twins have this special bond and they're tied together and they have to like each other and be best friends. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty cool. But I don't know. I don't know if a clone will do that. That's a
twin. Clone is like your complete personality.
A clone can turn on you and just be
twins,
like, oh, I don't like this guy. What does that tell you about you if your clone doesn't like you?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're a shitty person?
That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I would like my clone. I'd be like, this guy. But also the twin has a different personality. The clone is an exact replica as of the time that the cloning happens. Maybe through their own individual experiences, the clones start to separate in personality and everything like that because they have different, unless you're together with your clone the whole time, like chained to them.
People have been cloning their pets.
Yeah.
And just having the same pet over and over again throughout their lifetime.
That's like legal to do?
Yeah.
Does it cost? I would like to clone.
Let's see.
Let's look up the cloning.
Oh, who's that? Let me answer the door quick. Hold on.
Go answer the door. Anyways, let's resume the pod. So yeah, we'll see. I really hope Hardy, comes back to the podcast at some point. Because I think we had a good rapport going. We hit 100 episodes, and I think we're going to do another 100. But we'll see if he. We'll see if he gets in there. I mean, once again, he was just Matt Hardy is one of the biggest flakes. He's never on. It's actually a good thing that he's not doing the podcast anymore.
What if he ends up doing a pod with Jared? That would
a Jared and Hardy pod.
It'd be like a mental health, like wellness pod.
I would get Karen. I'd be like, Karen, you're looped in with me. I think me and Karen would actually have a good podcast. But yeah, Hardy's he's very flaky. He's never on time. What are you doing here?
Are you on?
Yeah, we're rolling. Sit down. I did like a skit.
Did you
up top saying that?
All right. Hi, hello.
I did a skit.
Give me a second.
I did a skit up top saying that you would quit the pod.
I haven't, but
oh, you're close to it.
Hardy's wearing a Patrick Ewing jersey right now.
I am. I'm in disarray here. Do you have a seltzer, Miller?
Yeah, grab a seltzer. Sit down. We need to get this raw, unfiltered Hardy when he's. So Matt, I'll give you guys like a quick synopsis of where we are. Matt Hardy is an hour and 45 minutes late because of train troubles. So he says. I'm kidding, dude. Don't turn on me. It was a joke.
I'm not gonna turn on you.
It was a joke.
I've already screamed at a fucking cab driver.
You were screaming at him?
I was not fucking happy. I didn't scream at him.
Here we are, everyone.
Cursing off the fucking
Matt Hardy, baby.
New York fucking city.
What the?
Fuck this fucking city. Piece of fucking shit. Seriously, this fucking city is a fucking shell. The subway is a fucking shell of itself. It's a disgust. And then I can't get a fucking cab anywhere. There's no cabs.
But were there no cabs because everyone got off the subway? Or was it just...
No, I was just for some reason on the
Uber.
west side of the... Hey, everyone. On the west
Good to
side.
see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Oh my god, I'm so mad. I knew I was mad because I said I was livid. That's when I know I'm so mad. I'm livid. I'm like, oh my god. You said
That's why I said I was taking a shit when you called and you just said livid. I was like, oh, he is not happy right now.
No. I'm surprised you guys are still part of. I was like, oh, they're not going to be like Patson. They're not going to be there.
Well, I have nothing else to do. Pat, also, that just shows the level of dedication, Samaha.
I'm incredibly
Right?
impressed.
It's
I'm
part of the
very-
content. You know, we had to get the raw, unfiltered, reaction.
I'm
of you
sending him
coming in.
I'm sending him a Valentine's Day tip or something like that. I don't know what
Yeah,
whatever
dude.
day's coming.
The train stopped at.
Throw this on.
What is that?
It's
We gotta
blood pressure. We're gonna see what your blood pressure's at.
We gotta grab your blood pressure.
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
do it up. How do you do that on my arm?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah. Hold on. All right. So we're gonna take Cardi's blood pressure.
and then
right now.
maybe,
Dr. Miller.
and then maybe as I tell the story, you can see if it goes up.
How was it?
So it
Was
just
it a
stopped.
packed?
It
Was it a
just
packed train, or were you standing or
It
sitting?
wasn't. I was sitting. That's
All
a great.
right.
No, that's a great point. I had a seat.
Were people standing?
Yes, there were some people that were standing.
Dude, standing on a pause subway
Dude.
for 50 minutes.
Dude.
I would start jacking the doors open and just start walking.
One guy, I thought about like things you might be interested in as I was sitting there. I was like picturing like what you might ask me. And one guy like went into the space in between the cars at one point to be like, can I get the fuck out of here?
Oh man, dude.
I know. And I was like, I actually went, that guy's onto something. Like if I can go, I'm going to, cause you at one point were like, can you get out of there?
Right.
And I was like, no, like we're stuck like where, between stations.
Yeah.
So you would have to like, I don't
There's
even
gotta be
know.
some walkway rail though, right? For like 127 over 96, 100 pulse. Not good. You're orange.
The orange is so good.
Orange is no good.
Yeah, dude.
It's not
I'm
red.
Well, I was red at one point. If you had this thing like, but when you hit me up, what happened was, and we can go to the beginning, but it was a 50 minutes when I finally. So we were stuck for about 40. We were stuck for about 45, 50.
Yep.
We moved, and then I got service. So where we were stuck for 50, I had no service. So then we moved, and I got a little bit of service, and I was like, "Yo, I'm stuck. I'm hustling," and that's when you were like, "Well, maybe like jump out or what's going on."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "All right, well maybe," and then
Maybe.
they come back on, and we stopped there for like where we were for another 10 minutes. So even though we had moved into service, we were still stopped before
Right.
Columbus Circle. Then they came back on. I've never seen this in my entire life, and they said we're going backwards. We're retracing our steps to get to 72nd in a spur track.
A spur track.
I've never even Miller. I was like, you
It's
can't.
like old timey like stuff that they don't use. They're like, we only use this in
Yes.
dire situations.
That's right. because we built
There's
this.
a threat of danger just by going on the spur track, but that outweighs the angst of the New Yorkers wasting time. They go, we might die going on the spur track, but we know how disgruntled you are.
Yes. There's like 2 MTA workers, and one of them's like, Bill, I don't know if we should go into the spur. And he's like, they've been on there for an hour. We have to go spur.
Wait, are people going towards like the conductor car to give their advice and stuff like that?
Okay, one guy did that. One guy stood up in a sort of defiant stance, looked at everyone in the car, and was like, you guys I'm done with this. Right? I loved it. And he took off right out of the car. Like, looked at everyone, took off, went right.
He said that. I'm done with this.
No, he did it with the stance and the walk. Like, looked at everybody, took off right through the doors. But I'm thinking, where are you, buddy? Like, what are you going to the front of the train?
Dude,
like,
I'd be going to the front of the train. I'd be talking to the conductor. I go, what are we doing here? How can I help?
That's the most New York attitude.
Put the women and children in the back train. All able men go to the front.
That's the most New York attitude, to go up and be like, how can I help?
Yeah.
To think that you may.
I'm an accountant. My skills are numbers. Let me know.
What is this thing? What does this button do here? What's going on? Like, what is the actual? And the guy kept saying, he finally goes, we're having severe signal problems. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think you fucking are, all right?
Signal problem.
Yeah,
it's go or stop. This isn't like this isn't an airport where there's multi-dimensions. It's a yes or no.
Yes. That's what
Is there something in front of us? If yes, we can't go.
This guy's like, oh, he said there were 2 cars. Then he said it was severe signal. And then he kept going, we're sorry for any delay this may have caused. And I'm like, don't any me, the delay. Sorry for the inconvenience. That kept pissing me off. I to be quite honest with you, you kept being like, was anyone like getting annoyed? I was actually, of all the Zen bullshit, I was one of there were 2 of us mumbling a lot. I was a major mumbler.
You were throwing some mumbles?
I was mumbling, dude. I was just like.
What kind of stuff were you saying?
I was just like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, is this real?
Dude, I don't
Do you
think
have a
I've ever
book?
heard you say the F word. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever said foul language in front of me. Like,
I know, dude. I was not in a good.
Did you have a pee back?
I did. I was so
But you
mad.
didn't wanna
I was
read.
in my backpack. I didn't even want to read.
But did you enjoy reading?
Yeah, where's your book, you idiot? Pull it out. It's a perfect situation. Dude, I was like trying to listen to music, and then
You
I was
hand
like,
someone your book, you go, I can't fucking read this shit.
that's what it was.
You read
it. Bro, I just kept thinking about, and then I got a text from Pomeroy, and he was like, dude, come over whenever. Someone else like had plans with me, and I was so goddamn mad. I go, hey, listen, I don't know when this is gonna happen today, all right? I've been stuck underground for an hour. Come over whenever.
all right, sorry, the blood pressure again. It's
Yeah,
starting to rack up.
spiking.
It's starting to spike up.
I kept saying too that I was like, these dudes, me and this one dude had this real connection. He was laughing at me a little bit, where I was like, these dudes are wilding out, bro.
What was the
They're
demographic?
wilding out. Like, you can't.
What was the demographic? Kids, old people, everyone? Like, were there any kids? If I was like a
No.
5-year-old, I'd be
see-
bouncing off the walls. I'd be like, this, I'd lose it.
Yeah. Oh, a casual. Well, here's the thing. Like, when we went back towards that spur track, right? It made things, even worse. Because as we went backwards to go into this spur track, which I saw Samaha attempt to bring up, I think. As we went backwards into the spur track, we had more delays because that spur thing wasn't ready. So the guy's like coming on the MTA like, all right, I'm just waiting for my code worker to receive us in the spur
The coworker
track. I'm
goes,
like,
"You're in the spur track? What are you doing there?"
So I looked it up. Spur tracks basically they take it away to service it somewhere else, and like
That's what they do.
that's what the
Yeah.
spur track is. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
temporary 145 over 80.
145 over 89,
Oh,
121.
no, Marty.
You might die right now.
I'm fucking lit. Can you imagine if I was on coffee?
Here's
I'm
the
on
thing.
nothing.
Sometimes people people will bitch during delays and stuff. So, was anyone upset at your like mumbling? You know what I mean? Like sometimes if there's a guy that's like losing, he's like, "Are you kidding
he's
me?"
annoying.
I'll be like, "What do you do? Like, just relax.
Yes.
We can't do anything about it. Relax. We all feel that.
I know.
We know all of us are upset."
One guy who was right next to me at one point stood up and walked to the other side of the train. And I was like, yo, is this guy done with me? It went through my head because I knew I had been mumbling. I hadn't been like out loud though. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like loud,
Right.
where I was like, yo, what the fuck? I wasn't like that. I was a mumbling.
Anyone else? Anyone else feeling this?
So I was like, it wasn't like that. It was more like this is fucking like, of course, like what the fuck, just like stuff that was like kind of to me. But it was also partially the part of the problem was, all right, so I was already running a little, I was running my classic.
You're already running behind.
Right. So I left at like 12:30. So I'm arriving at Columbus Circle at like 12:45. So that's not great. Right. But usually I'll just get to Union Square, take the L, and then I would have been here by like 1:10, 1:15.
Yeah.
But I couldn't afford. But the problem was when you're running a little late like that, you can't afford any delay. Right? So I'm not in the mood. Like you
Right.
you always say, leave space.
You assume that the subway's
Yes.
going to suck.
Yes, I
You
did not.
assume.
Yes.
But assumptions, as we said,
Yeah.
can't make assumptions.
There you go. There's a great assumption. Build that in to your routine. So I was already a little tight
Right.
when it started. I couldn't afford. I was like, I can't fucking afford this.
Your
right
blood
now.
pressure was already a little teetering.
Yes.
And then once the huge delay came, it just went out
That's
of control.
right. Well, there was stages of like grief. Like at first I knew, I was like, okay, it's been 10 minutes. I'm in trouble, but like I could still pull this off. 30
minutes and you start doing the manic laughing like this is funny now. Everyone's
That's
like,
what it
dude, this
was
guy
like.
is losing it.
Yeah. That's what it was like.
You're breathing into your hat.
There was a guy. There was a guy across from me that had to have been asleep for the first 30 minutes of the delay. Woke up on
No.
minute, I swear to God, 35, and then he was finally mad. He was like, "Bruh, what the fuck?"
homeless or regular?
No, it's just sort of like a worker guy
Yeah.
that clearly had enough time for the 30 and now was very annoyed. And I
It was
loved
Columbus Circle.
it. Yeah.
Not the Rockaways.
What the fuck is going on? And now I'm pumped because I'm going, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. Welcome into the water's warm. We haven't moved in
Water's
50
warm.
minutes. And then when the doors, so then they get into the spur zone. It's now been over an hour delay. Underground. Over an hour. So it was like about an hour 10 probably. I was like, oh my God, are we not going to be able to get it? So the guy goes, when we get to 72nd Street, we'll eventually be able to start moving forward.
Yeah.
And then he goes, because of the signal problems, this A train will not be running on the 8th Avenue line. It'll be running on the 6th Avenue line.
Uh-huh.
So it even changed lines after it completely broke down for an hour. So I literally, the doors opened at 72nd, and I got the fuck out.
Right.
I was like, I'm not fucking hanging out on this and as I'm walking away, I'm literally saying to people walking past, I'm going, do not get on that. I said that to a couple
You were literally a madman.
Yes.
People would look at you and you go,
I-
do not get on that train. They'd be like, fucking nuts. These homeless guys are out of control.
That's right. The baggy, the fucking beard. I'm all fucking disheveled. I'm like, do not get this. I would not get on
Got
that
Nick's
train.
jersey on.
Yeah.
Do not get on that train.
That's what I said to this poor lady coming down the stairs. I go, I would not get on that train. And then
Did
then
everyone
I was
get off?
No, I was
People
actually
stayed on?
yeah.
What?
It was so bizarre.
I would be off that thing in the second.
If you helped me though, because I was thinking about staying on it, and I was like, no, you're right. Just get the fuck off.
Different mode. Let's go to a
Yeah,
different mode.
let's get into a.
Let's get a different mode of transportation in here.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't believe some people were just like a
Dude,
little
you're
more
not you're not an
casual.
electric city biker, dude. That's a
I would-
nice
no,
city
I would
bike
love-
from Harlem down here. It's like a nice 45-minute city bike.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well, the then what happened that fucked me up is I couldn't get a cab. Then it got even worse because I couldn't get a cab.
They were passing you.
Yeah, they were passing me, and I'm like, oh, and I'm in a bad state because I'm like, oh, this is fucking typical. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, this fucking city, I'm getting so mad, and I can't. I'm trying to hail, and I can't get the taxi. And then this green cab pulls up and does the free pull, fucking brings the front window down to be like, ask me like, where are you going?
Yeah.
To do that thing, So I just get in the back of his car, and I'm like, sorry, buddy. I've had way too much of a day to care about your preferences.
Is that what you said?
Yes. I was like, you're taking me where I want to go. And then because I'm an idiot,
And we got multiple stops. He's like, what?
the guy goes, no. The reason why I was asking you is because my meter doesn't work below 92nd Street. So do you have cash? And I'm like, oh my God. No, I don't have cash. We'll go to an ATM. So then we drive down
whoa,
here.
whoa. So you
Yes.
didn't get out to go to a different cab? You're like, first stop,
Yes.
ATM.
That's what we did. I was like, bring me down there. And then, of course, I'm so upset. I get off down here. And at the avenue right here, there isn't an ATM in the weird newspaper place. There isn't a working ATM in the next deli.
So are you walking down the street and
Yes.
he's trailing you kind of? He's like inching along on
He's
the
like-
road?
No, he's just sitting.
He's parked.
Yes, up. And I had to go 2 blocks down past the grocery store to go to some fucking ATM in some place. And I was just so mad. I'm just seething even more at this point. It's just like,
Glad to have you back, Hardy.
oh my God.
I'll tell you, dude, solo potting is a struggle, man.
Yeah. Dad, did you do?
I did like 7 minutes. I told the story about the double date or whatever since we had already visited it. You know what I mean? About me hitting
oh
up you,
my
Luciano.
gosh. Did you go? I really thought about doing that after the
Doing
fact.
what?
Going on.
Going on the double date?
Yeah.
We should do.
I
I'll make
would've
a
done
hinge. I'll
that.
make a hinge profile and just be pictures of us too.
Yeah. I think we should go. That could be really fun.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, man. A little double date profile. I've got an issue,
Yeah.
and I want your advice.
Yeah.
So I matched up with this girl on Hinge, very pretty,
Yeah.
and I looked her up on Instagram. Right, everyone does that, right? Everyone looks their social medias.
Yeah.
I saw that she has one of the comics that we know. Should I just say the name? It doesn't matter. Janine. You know Janine? Dan Janine?
I think so.
So he follows this girl, right?
Okay.
So I plan a date with her, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna go out on Wednesday. I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah.
She said she saw me at a comedy show and she's like, oh, you did really well, like you were hilarious.
Oh,
And this was
nice.
like 5-6 months ago. So I mean she remembered me after 5 or 6 months
Right.
So I'm pretty
So you had a
pumped, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said she was like, yeah, I like definitely saw you do stand up at the Late Late. And that Late Late
Interesting.
show was like 6 months ago. And I crushed that night.
Nice.
So then I see Janine last night at Schwartz and Samaha's show, Mama's
Right.
Boy.
Oh, okay.
I'm hanging.
Yeah.
Janine's there. So I'm asking, I'm like, well, he's.
Yeah. Does he know her?
And I was
Yeah.
like, how
He
do you
knows
know her? He's
Yeah.
like, well, we can kind of through life. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like,
Through life. that's-
well, I met her, and I was like, did you date her?
Yeah.
And he goes, we went on 1 or 2 dates. And now I'm like, it just ruins it for me. You know what I mean? Do you feel that at any point?
It just depends. Yes, a little bit. There's a little bit of like,
What
does this mean? Like, what does she know about like what this life? Like, just like some weird, yeah.
There's multiple dynamics. One dynamic is that now apparently he says he still hangs out there every now and then.
He really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
so I'm like, did Janine
Yeah. What
stop
hap-
seeing her?
Right,
So
right.
now, like, if I start dating her,
You
I'm
do-
put like Janine said no. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Like,
You want to ask Janine why this?
yes,
You
why it
should follow-
didn't?
Yes.
Yes.
Janine, did you end up
I
asking? him?
tried, and he's like, it's just we weren't vibing.
Yeah.
I was like, ah,
He probably doesn't want to. Well,
reveal.
there's a couple angles on that. He either may not. He may be embarrassed because maybe he didn't end it,
Right? Maybe
Peop-
she ended it.
and then people never want to go. Usually, they'll be like, "Well, I don't know what it was,"
Yeah.
or he doesn't want to like put it out that like
Right. And now
he's
it's
not
gonna, but it'll come out eventually.
if she tells you,
if I go on one date with her and never see her again,
yeah,
then it will come out. He'll tell me.
yeah, that's
And
right.
if we start dating seriously, he will also probably tell me. It'll be
Or
revealed.
she will. Yeah.
It'll reveal itself either way.
And it's not like she's not gonna look at your Instagram. She's gonna see that you also follow him.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Right.
So what does she
And
think?
it was also like his
Yeah,
show.
she's good.
It was also his show, so she knows that we're like friends.
Did she?
But also,
What's okay?
but also
that's what I want. I almost forgot. What is Jermaine like?
Janine.
Janine's the guy.
He's like older. He's like 32, 33.
Okay.
This
he like
this
a-
is bad.
I
can't describe.
trying to get. He's older.
I would describe
He has
him
dark hair.
as he's a nice quirky guy. He's like
Quirky
he's
guy,
Like, yeah.
okay.
He's a friend. He's a friend. I would say
Friendly
he's
guy.
like a top 15 to 20 friend of mine in comedy.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just
So
trying
I
to
like
figure
him.
out if
I
it's like
get
if this guy's like a total loser. Like,
No, I get sushi with him sometimes.
then
I'll
you're-
go.
I think
He's a
you're-
jokester. Like he'll play around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're.
He's like a food guy. He's like a food reviewer or something for like.
Yeah,
Eat
it
or
sounds
something
like
that.
he's a fun guy. Sounds like people like.
No,
him.
he's not he's not like a schmuck comedian.
Then I think that's what I would be more. I'd be more because like when someone dates a comedian, it's like, okay, what does this really say?
Right.
And yes, to all of us to an extent, but you'd like it to be a friend or someone that you would.
Right.
But
also
would
just the-
endorse.
Just the thought of like if we start dating and I see him and he's like, "You still seeing her?"
He
you know, and he
knows.
gives me some shit-eating grin. I'm like, "Yeah, don't.
Yeah, Janine.
We're not bringing it up, Janine."
It would just depend on who the
And also,
guy.
I guess he hangs. He was like, I was thinking about texting her tonight and see if she wanted to hang out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean you're hanging out tonight? Like you guys hang out?" It's like, "Yeah, we've hung out a couple times
Oh,
just as
Janine
friends."
said
Yeah.
that. Wow.
And now, if they're still hanging out, let's say I start hanging out with her. Now Janine's telling me things about her, and Janine's telling things to her about me.
Yeah.
And there's now like information being distributed
Yeah.
unevenly to both parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like a three-way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was really turned off by it last night. I was like all pumped about this chick, and
Yeah.
then after hearing that, I'm like, we'll see what happens. You know.
I would not like. I've had this conversation with a couple people. I'm not a big. I'm the girl with the guys that are friends. I don't really buy it. I know some girls have, but this is a little bit of a hot misogynistic take.
Oh, Schwartz. I mean, Samaha, his can I say it? Samaha's girlfriend was at the show, and she
Yeah.
had like a guy friend there, and I
Yeah,
was giving
I
Samaha. I go, "Oh, is he a guy friend?" You know.
Now, I would ask. I would very authentically, genuinely ask you, Pat, if you actually trust that guy,
I do.
because
Yeah.
bet you do.
Yeah, so like in the beginning, like when we would integrate like friend group and like boyfriend, like,
Okay.
they were always just like super platonic, like brother
Right.
and sister type more than anything else. And like they were friends
Got
through
it.
high school. So,
Got it. Okay.
So once I saw that relationship, I was like, all right, yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
Right. But okay, I'm just saying, if you put a gun to my head, that situation I don't 100% trust.
You don't have any
trust
friends that
you.
are girls?
I trust you. I just don't believe it can be platonic for section for time like.
I'm gonna give you a messed up scenario because hypothetically this may be happening.
Yeah.
Say we're going abroad to another country for something.
Yeah.
And I'm not going.
Real hypothetical.
And,
It's like really
you going
happened.
and I'm not. And so we're going as like a friend group, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not arriving at the same time.
We're in Venice. It's 6 p.m.
So I'm not arriving.
Hypothetically.
I'm not arriving at the same time. Right.
Right. Okay.
So we got to figure rooming, boarding, stuff like that.
Right.
So the situation would be,
okay, I got it.
the girl and the guy best friend,
Right.
share a room, separate beds,
Right.
until you get there,
No.
and then they'll
Right.
swap a room with someone else.
That's how you'll-
just to save a couple bucks on a
Right.
room for a couple days.
Right.
Would you be okay with that?
Would I be okay with that?
It's my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend's
I'd
Oh,
stay-
you're asking me.
staying in a room
Okay.
for a couple days with
Got
her
it,
best friend.
Got it.
with her best
I'm
guy
completely
friend.
fine with it. I'm okay with it.
I would
'cause I
pay.
know they're
I
best
would be
friends.
like, I'll pay for your room. You're not sleeping with a guy.
I would. It depends on my. I would potentially let it happen, but I would not trust it. On just my experience, you're a little bit young. How old are you?
Yeah, you can't force
25,
it.
but I've
You're
been with her for a
25.
few years.
People who are in their mid-20s think like they're very like hippie and Dutch about it. Oh yeah, it's okay. They're platonic. Live a
Dutch.
little. 20 years. Oh yeah, they're friends. You don't need 1,000 guy and girlfriends. Eventually, if it's a guy, at some point, maybe even if if he's straight, maybe even if he doesn't right now find the person attractive, there's not the chance that it can't become that. That's all I'm saying. And it's certain, like, if it's a friend, sure, right? Like, like we all have work friends, comedy friends, they're friend groups of former friend groups. We were in college together. She's in a new city. Oh, so now we still hang out together because of the way it was formed. I'm just saying, like, over time, the, like, we're all guys. Like, we know that, like, the guy who is almost all the time in that relationship of, like, it's like he wants more.
Well, I've got
At some point, he wants more. It doesn't have to be like that, right? It doesn't have to be like that for periods of time, for sure. For periods of time. But
I think that's probably the majority, but there are a couple times where I have 2 or 3 like friends that are girls, where I wanted to hook up with them at first, the first one I met them.
yeah.
And I was like, not trying to hook up, but like, I was like, oh, I'm like really attracted to this person.
Yeah.
And then it like drifted more friend zone-y type thing.
Yeah.
And then after being in the friend zone for like a year,
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't even hook. If they wanted to hook up, I probably wouldn't even hook up because they're like too good of friends.
Right.
I've even drifted into like
so
the
right.
opposite, where you're like you want to hook up with them
Right.
at first. You're like, this person's hot, and then
So that's
after a year
latent,
of friendship,
right? Your attraction's like latent. It's not, but it was there.
yeah.
But that's a good point. I guess what I would put it is like this: what are the people? It's a great point you bring up at the hypothetical. What are the people up to? What are they doing? Like, do I think it's appropriate if like your girlfriend is going out to like dinners alone with a guy?
I think that's fine.
I don't,
dude.
like, to me, like, I'm like, eventually, like, I'm like, why does that need? Why
What's
do you?
this guy doing?
I mean, that's basically what happened yesterday. They went on a dinner date and went to the comedy show that I was producing. So, like,
Okay, they met you there though.
I'm her boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm asking you, like, will they go out alone
Yeah.
to a solo dinner?
Yeah.
With each other?
Yeah.
They will.
See, I think
And he's
that's fine.
not
Not
okay,
sleeping,
I need to.
dude.
Okay, no, this is great. Pat, we need to talk about this more. What else is this guy? What is this guy like?
I mean, similar in, like, kind of personality. You know, he's a good kid. I mean, I don't want to talk anything bad about him.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Obviously,
He
we know.
listens to the pod.
Yeah.
Does
We
he?
know-
Does
we
he have
know
a
they listen.
girlfriend?
No, I'm just
Does he have a girlfriend?
So, like, through our relationship, me and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sorry, my girlfriend and I.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, we're very grammatically correct there.
He's had like a girlfriend and interests,
Yeah.
and like we've like had group dates and
Okay.
hung out. Maybe they fell apart, and he's been single through that time as well.
Okay.
So it's
yeah.
like he's been in and out of relationships.
Look, the
during that
younger,
time.
I'll say this. I'm an older guy. I could be past the times. I do think that, you know, you could be in a different, there's always, nothing's ever one way 100% of the time, right? That's just wrong. So I could be completely out of my depth, I was in a long distance relationship for about 2.5 years, and her best friend, this is the first girl I ever really loved, and I was just devastated after this ended. It literally like launched me into my spiritual awakening. Her best friend the entire time was my brother's roommate, and they were like really good friends, and like they were the most platonic. They'd known each other since they were like in like 5th grade. They were like great buddies. Tom Chu, like they were like, that was a guy that like, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. And then, but I always was like, I don't know how they're going to like they're going to dubstep shows. They're hanging around. They're doing, and I'm like, no. And everyone's telling me, every single person in all of the friend groups is like, like they've always been like the coolest. Matt. It's always been totally platonic. My brother even. So I'm like, yeah, totally cool. She breaks up with me at the 2.5 year mark, a week or whatever before she was moving back to New York, where I was living. So after the 2.5 years, long distance to come back to New York, breaks up. 3 weeks later, she's with Tom. Fucking with who is my brother's roommate. My brother's roommate at the time. So like literally a month later. So like, and this was
he knew the whole time. He just had to
I
choose
don't
between his brother and his roommate.
like,
He's like,
that's
do
my
I
brother.
tell him?
My brother was in a horrible position because he's like, this is my roommate, and this is now my brother's very recent ex-girlfriend.
How do you even approach that? Like she comes over to
It was
like
a
hang
fucking-
out with the roommate, and he's like he doesn't know to be like, oh hey, what's going on, or like,
Yeah.
oh hey, like fuck you, you know.
Yeah, there's no, to be fair, and this is the end, I'll just say, they end up getting married. So clearly they loved each other, and I was a dick and an alcoholic the whole time, partying. So I made problems, right? Okay, let's just be clear about all this. But it ended up being a situation where my suspicions were right. And I don't think that it was a situation where that guy knew, I don't think he like was like malicious. Like, oh, I'm gonna hook.
It's not like he was waiting.
No,
throughout the
I don't.
time.
I don't think that at all. I just think that's why I was saying things can change.
It was
I think
organic.
something changed, and
Right.
it was like, oh my god, this is my best friend. I've known them my whole life. I do like them. This guy's a prick. Like, look who's here. Like, so that stuff can. That's all I'm saying. It's just stuff can change, and then it's like, oh, that guy's right there, you know, and it's like stuff like that. That's what happened. That's why I said that to you.
Well, shit.
Not because
I
I'm
gotta watch out for this guy.
Yeah,
now.
I'm projecting
Fuck.
on you. Just I would just be wise, be wary. Like
I cornered him.
Tobin
at the
was giving me
show.
the eye. He was
I
like,
cornered him at
It's
the
like-
show, and I was like, "What are your intentions?"
see Miller's a great
Pat
older-
doesn't know I'm doing this, and don't tell him. But I'll break those kneecaps if you touch his.
You
touch his
better
girl.
not. Yeah, Pat's a great guy. You bet. And look,
Clips.
look. What are you gonna do, Pat? There's nothing. You're not gonna be. You're doing the right thing. Don't be a weirdo. Don't turn on some jealousy. That's gonna only make things worse. It's in God's hands, right? You're not gonna be able to do anything about it.
I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry.
I
about
wouldn't worry about it. I just need to tell. I wanted to tell that story because that's what happened to me, and I was like, I knew. I saw that guy, you know, like I'm like, he's
Well,
like very friendly, you know.
Plus, when she
There's
approached
one-
it, she
there-
was like, sorry. Plus,
Yeah.
when she approached it, she asked me first. She was like, is this okay?
Right.
After
Well, that's
after,
not,
t-
yeah,
after
yeah.
telling her the plan.
There's a
It's-
difference between a long term, like you
Yeah.
came after the friendship, you started dating
Right,
her after
right.
the friendship, versus like you're dating and now she's got a new friend.
This is a brilliant
The new
point.
friend I don't
agree-
like.
Okay, so you know what? You honed in on. Okay, thank you. That's actually more of my issue. I'm sorry, not it right. That's what I was talking with someone, and it was a new friend that I was kind of like a newish friend where it was like
Right.
right, and I was like, really, you need to make a new like. Listen, I don't know how the rest of you are. When you get into your late 30s, 40s,
Yeah.
no one's making any friends. No one wants to do anything. Relax.
Yes.
You're not running around anymore out in the fucking clubs making buddies. Like grow up.
I am, but you know.
Read a book. Enjoy your night. Okay. if you got people going out and like making new groups of friends, like it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. I think a new friend is
New friend's a red flag. Yeah.
I really do. And again,
Like the coworker. No, we work together.
and it's like
Let me talk to the
I've
guy
seen that
one-on-one.
goes. Yes.
Before you go out, have him come upstairs. I want to
You
talk
hire
to
a
him.
PI.
Yeah. And like my buddy was
I
saying,
trail him. Oh, you guys are here?
that's what I would do.
Mind if I join?
Yeah. Dude,
Put your dick away, Kyle. Sit
if
down.
it's coworker, it's like do it within like then it's work. We all know when it's like a night, like a Thursday, whatever night, it's like you should be at home with your fucking wife. And if you're not, you shouldn't have gotten married.
Yeah.
Grow up. If you don't want to go home, then go cheat on your wife, but divorce your wife.
So on this first date, I should tell a girl, I should be like, if you want to go on a second date with me, you have to end your friendship with Janine.
Yeah, I know. There's this other angle where it's like, oh, it's so. But look, I will say I do find a girl with a lot of guy friends. I'm just going to say it. Not suspect. That's too much. A little immature. A little immature.
I think suspect is better than immature.
No, you don't think so?
Immature carves into their life.
I don't have tons of girls. Do you have tons of friends that are girls, Miller?
Nah, I've had a
Literal
couple.
friends that are girls. We can
I've
barely
got
even
one-
keep up a friendship
I'd say
on
I've
the
got-
outside of the pod. I can barely get. We don't even once in a blue moon we'll see a movie, and you got friends that are girls. Shut the fuck. You don't
I
have
got
fucking
one friend
barely
that's a
have
girl.
friends.
I got one friend that's a girl.
You got one
Right now.
Okay, how?
If I back
How?
in San
'Cause you hooked
Francisco,
up?
I had a
'Cause you
couple.
hooked up, and
No,
now
we
you're
never
not
hooked
hooking up.
No, we never hooked up. She's a 10, by the way. She's very
Oh,
hot.
here we go, proving my.
Well, I wanted
She's a 10, by
when I
the way.
when I first met her in college,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to hook up with her,
Yeah,
and
You're
then she ended
right,
up
There we go.
and then she ended up hooking up in college with one of like my best friend. And then after that happened, I was like, all right, I don't want to hook up with her anymore because she's been with my friend.
Do you have a bunch
but
of
I was still
girlfriends?
friends with her.
Okay, so you
And
have
then
like
I've
one.
stayed
You have like
friends.
one,
I've
and
stayed
you
friends.
are you
We'll grab
friend?
dinner.
Okay. Look, I think I probably in the past have had like a girlfriend like that here or there. In law school, I studied with a girl.
Yeah.
She was married. We were like good study partners. We were friends. You know, there are situations, but that was also because of law school. I guess with a friend anyway, you sort of always bond on something. So that makes sense. I just think it's like, I guess, totally weird when it's like completely you know, when you just like make a friend to make a friend.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where I was, yeah.
All right.
Do you have a bunch of girlfriends, Pat?
No, not until like maybe I was 20. I started like getting girlfriends into our friend group. But even at that point, it was all incestual, and like everyone was like,
Right.
you know, hooking with each other.
Everyone was hooking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is even a younger idea to me. The friend group. That even, I think, goes
Everyone
away.
wants to be the
Yeah.
show
Do
friends.
Do you have like what friend? I used to have a friend.
But everyone wants to be the show friends. Like
Yeah.
everyone wants that. Everyone wants the apartment where
I
their
think there's
friends
a-
flow in and out, and
I
everyone.
think
you have
there's
like a
also
crew,
a
like you roll
difference.
deep.
If
right?
you did,
Yeah,
if you weren't doing comedy, you'd probably have a friend group.
Yes, I guess that's probably part of the issue, right?
I
Is you
think-
right.
Yeah, we have our nights when the friend group
Yeah.
assembles. We're out doing comedy.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah,
a lot.
it's a good point.
I see friend groups.
Yeah,
I
they
witness
still
them.
kind of exist.
They still exist.
Also, I
Yeah,
find this
yeah.
interesting. Is this the type of friend that Daniel would bring to his show?
huh?
Is this the type of friend that Daniel would bring to a show, like invite to a show?
I don't know. I'm
'Cause
going
then
on.
what if you date her, right? And then he's like, "Oh, come out to a show," and then you guys like start hanging out in a group setting.
Well, he
That'd
did
be
say.
weird.
I know.
Wait, what girl are you talking? What,
This is
Daniel,
the Janine girl.
the Hinge girl.
Oh, you're asking if the other guy would date her.
No, I'm
He
saying
would bring her out and be like, "Hey, you want to come to his show just like for fun?"
Oh, right, because they're friends. It's
Would
a
they
great
go on
point. Yeah,
friend
like what
dates?
does that look like? And then you're
Well, here's the issue.
You-
Once again, there's a lot of variabilities. Here's the variable in that
you go,
situation.
you're the freewheeling guy. You're
There's a
I
lot of
love it.
variables. They've been on date like
Yeah,
non-platonic dates 1 date or 2 dates.
Right,
So there was an
right.
initial trying to
Yes.
make something.
Yes.
So it was never 100% the whole timeline platonic.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to hook up with her and then they did or whatever, he
Yeah.
did say that they never kissed.
Did he?
Yes. But I don't. He said that, but I don't know if it's. I still don't think it's like. I'm like still weary. You know, I asked 1,000 questions when I was like, we were in the back of the
Never
show.
kissed is like such a fucking dumb.
He goes, but we did do. He goes, we did come kind of close one time. We did the the elbow hug, and I'm like, the elbow hug.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I guess the elbow hug from where you hug,
Yeah.
and then as you're leaving the hug, you kind of remain
Oh,
on
I
the
know that.
elbows.
That's a big romantic comedy move. Yeah.
the elbow.
The
hug.
elbow, right? And you're sort of now you're like really close.
Yes, and now you're gazing in each other's eyes.
Yes.
You're not looking away during the elbow hug.
Yup.
You're
It's a very
looking right at
It's a
him.
very European thing. The elbow hug.
I might throw the elbow hug at her on Wednesday and say, "Does this remind you of anything?"
What's the guy?
Janine, and she goes, "Oh."
Yeah, you're like, listen, Janine taught me how to do this. You're going nowhere. But both people do it, right?
Yeah.
And they grip good. I know the elbow. Yeah. You ever do that with a
Here's-
guy? That's funny to do with a
I
guy.
might start doing that. And then you
Because-
don't let go.
Yeah, and your buddy's like, you ever have a buddy do that to you, and you're like, what the fuck is this, man? And they're like, come on, let me get a look at you.
It's like an old man move.
It is.
Too.
It's like I
it's an
almost brought
older.
up
It's
Joe
like an
Biden.
old Italian man.
It is.
And they kiss on the.
That's right.
They do a cheek kiss as they're doing the elbow hug.
That's right. They do like a double, and they keep you in tight.
How about the grab skull? That's a good one. Just
Yeah.
like,
Grab skull. That's another old.
That's an alpha move.
That's an old.
Can we get
man.
that for
You
the
don't
thumbnail?
grab the skull of an of.
you think we guys can you do that for the thumbnail for this week?
Yeah, the skull grab.
Skull grabs
That
each
would be
other.
great. We should do that
What thumb? What do you mean?
Thumbnail for the YouTube video.
for the YouTube.
Oh, if we're both like,
To each other.
Yeah.
you want us to do it
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, we'll do skull grab. Wait,
You gotta
is it-
shake. You gotta show admiration.
You gotta go elbow. You gotta.
I haven't seen you in
Making puts on
forever.
there.
We're having such a
goes-
great time.
That's pretty good.
That's so fun.
That's funny. That's good. Yeah, and now Miller with the new do. Come on.
Now, what
I know.
occasions do you do that for? Is it like a wedding or?
To be quite honest with you, a lot of that stuff since I've gone sober just pisses me off. I feel like that's the move of a lot of people that have had one too many to drink.
Yeah.
The skull grab, the
Little noogie.
touching. Yes.
A little headlock noogie. Ah, Jimmy.
Yeah, like, and you're like, if you're a sober human being in the 21st century, a lot of this stuff is just no good anymore.
Yeah.
Listen, Uncle Pete, don't grab my ass at the while I'm trying to eat my carrot cake. You know,
Yeah.
just like what the fuck, man. Like
I've got-
really, like I don't touch you. We rarely touch. Like we have no problem with this. We were rarely touching each other.
Right.
Randomly.
We don't. No. But I do have a question. Should I bring up on this first date?
Yeah.
Janine. Should I be like, so you know, Janine?
I would
Steer clear.
No, you know me. I would bring it up. I don't know another way. I would be like, hey,
I'd be like, I ran into Janine Saturday night
Yeah.
at a show.
Do you
and he's-
currently follow each other on Instagram
Me and
with the
Janine?
girl?
Yeah.
So she probably is gonna.
No, I don't follow her.
Oh, okay. All right. So when that time comes, she's gonna see it, and she might bring it up. So.
no.
But I'm assuming that she looked into my Instagram. Right?
For
What
sure.
I would say is like what we talked about before. You don't seek to bring it up, but if it comes up naturally, you
Yeah.
don't then avoid it
Yeah.
because that's weird too.
Yeah. I'm going to go on the date
The
on Wednesday and then
Wednesday.
evaluate everything afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in with a clear slate. Pretend I
Yeah.
never. It was funny. We were at the show, and me and Janine were like in a way back room, and we were like, This is where he like revealed that they went on a date,
Yeah.
and he wanted to continue to talk about it. I go, we can't talk about it now. I'm going to mishear something. We need to do it with silence. We need to do it with no noise, so I can hear every word that you say. Because a slip up of one word with the things that you're saying could be way
Wait. But
misinterpreted.
did what did Janine actually say about why they didn't? Did you ask about why they didn't go back out?
He's like, it was
Did
very
you say
crypt.
that-
He said like it just didn't work out. Like we didn't vibe. He goes, and then he was like, but like she's really hot and she's really cool. And he's like,
Okay.
and he
All right.
said something on the. I don't, this isn't word for word the way he
That's
said,
not
but
bad.
he's like, in another life, I'd probably like
Yeah.
wife her up.
Okay. That's
Which is
pretty good.
weird though, because it means that he's like into her. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
It's all there. He does seem kind of into her.
I think it'd be pretty sweet if you ended up with a kiss after the first date, and he'd.
Yeah.
it's okay.
I typically go in for a kiss first date. I'm probably going to go in for a kiss.
Do you go back
Yeah.
and brag to Daniel?
I'm not going to no, I won't say anything to Dan because I don't want to create that dynamic. I don't want to talk about her with Dan. I don't want Dan to talk about me with her.
You know, it's gonna be funny. Is like the whole date you're gonna be like wondering like, what was it that Janine?
Exactly. Have you seen the what is it? I'm like looking at, I'm like trying to like, I'm like, are her ears even? Like what is it? I'm like, can you take do you have like one long leg or something? Like,
You're like, she's like, you're like, it wasn't the best interaction with the waiter. Was that what you need? You know
was
what?
that it?
It wasn't that mean.
Well,
though.
I would really love to know who,
You're gonna be like
who
texting
broke it
Jan-
off.
You're gonna be like texting Janine. Janine, was it the fashion?
Was it the
Was it the outfit?
arm hair? She's got a little bit of arm hair.
Janine, was it the arm hair? You're like just fucking.
I'm snapping pics. Like, no, I was taking a picture of the menu. The weird thing too is that he was like my.
You were trying to get it out of him.
He was
though,
like,
yeah.
my friends will say like, why don't you guys date? You guys are like so good together, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's
But
out of,
part
out
of
of
me-
everything you've said. That's the one that's too much.
Part of me thinks that
That's the
Janine's
one, right?
fucking
That's
with Janine will fuck with me like that. He's the type of guy that will say that and try to implant himself into your life.
There's
kinda
no way
like
you
that.
make that up. Can you make that up?
Why would he bring up his buddies that think they would be so good together?
It really. That's
Like,
what
are
I'm
you
saying.
fucking- yeah.
Every layer. It started off like, oh, you want a date, and then the longer the night went on, I was like, this is no good. We were out till 4 o'clock in the morning
longer the
last
night went
I
on,
was like,
Janine
fuck.
finally was like, "Hey, listen, do you mind if I get her number off you?" Like, Janine, did you just talk yourself back into dating her?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It
Can you
sounds like
imagine?
everything
Can
out
you
of his
imagine?
mouth.
Can you imagine? I'm trying to like we're on the date, and she's like, I actually got to go. I like planned something with another friend. I'm like, is it? I go, Janine, what are you doing tonight? He's like, I'm meeting up. I'm like, ah, damn it.
It's like the little kid that wants the fire truck once the other kid starts playing with it. You know, he goes, "Yeah, I didn't like that toy," and
It
then
is
you
a s-
start playing with it, and then the kid goes,
Yes.
"She was pretty nice."
That act out. That might be the greatest act out of all time. Dude, I'm stealing that, dude. I'm doing the long and then the tickle.
The
of
tickle,
balls.
just the like. Did I fuck this up? The insides. Did I fuck this up?
Oh, I'm doing that tonight. I don't know when.
Was it
during
too
my
soon?
set, but I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was too soon.
There is a
You're
Seinfeld
like,
episode.
Janine, you're sitting there with him. You're like, Janine.
Hold on. Give us 20 more seconds. Smile's pointing at the clock.
Well, yeah,
We're
because
in
I
tears
fucked
laughing.
him.
He goes, end it.
Yeah, I wants
End
us
it.
to finish strong, and we started 5 hours late.
Well, there is a Seinfeld episode. Have you seen that Seinfeld episode where Seinfeld starts going out with a girl, and it
Yeah,
turns out that
Simone.
Newman used to go out with her?
Oh yeah, that's
You remember
brilliant.
that?
Yeah.
And he goes, "What was wrong with her?" He goes, "Oh, we just didn't gel." You know, he's
It's the same.
he's like Newman.
The not gelling again. The mystery. It's like, what are you supposed? You're
it's
gonna be
killing me, dude. It's killing me.
It would that actually thinking now because I'm already someone that looks for flaws.
Yeah,
Where naturally
yeah.
we all are. That's just gonna put it on hyperdrive where you're like. And you're kind of wondering if you haven't found it yet a lot. You're like, well, maybe I'm not going to see it. Although, how many dates did he go on with her?
Well, he said, no. So here, he told me one.
Yeah.
And then later on, I was talking about with Hannah.
Here we go.
I was talking about with Hannah Dickinson. I
Yeah.
brought Hannah Dickinson to the green room. Like, listen to this. And I tell her the story.
Listen to this.
I tell her the story.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, how many dates did you go on? He goes,
Great
a few. And I go, you just told me one. He goes, one or two. And I'm like, whoa. So I think he's trying to fuck with me, man.
You can't get a straight answer out of this
Can't,
guy.
dude. He's one of these guys.
Can't
that
get a
wants to
straight
fuck with
answer
me,
out of
dude.
this fucking guy.
Brutal, man.
This is just genius. I can't wait to find out. You may just have to, have to ask her. You may not figure it out, honestly. You're probably not going to figure it out. You know what would be nice, though, if it was, like, super apparent and you could just accept it, like, right away.
Well,
You'd be like, oh, I get it. She's actually kind of racist, or she's kind of, and you could go, well, yeah, she's a
I'm cool with
Republican.
that.
Yeah, like this is not a big, we're all a little bit racist. Like,
Janine, was it the fact that she was racist? He goes, you found out? And I go, perfect. That's fine with me.
Yeah,
Thank God.
I told you we didn't.
I do the like this emoji.
Yeah. Janine, was it the 6 cats? You go back.
I think he said that she has a cat.
So maybe it's something small like that. You don't know. It could be great if it's something very big too. It could be really
here's
great.
The issue. I'm going into it with all this baggage in my head.
That's what
my
I'm
mind
saying.
is clogged right now. Usually I go into a date, it's empty, things are infiltrating it, and it's
Let's get on
accepting.
this. We're gonna get on this. We're gonna figure out this double date, you and I. Let's go on one of these double dates.
Dude, we gotta go. Yeah.
And we'll figure out your other date too. The next time.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Next
Next
week
week
we'll
we'll
talk
find
about this day. If she might cancel. Can you imagine if she cancels and I'm like, Janine, what'd you say?
Janine, she's out.
I might wear a live stream for Janine. I might put my phone. I'll call him and put my phone strategically on the door, so he can listen in. And there's a little buzzer. He'll buzz me when the red flag's coming in.
Send him a fucking video of you two making out. Yeah, you snooze, you lose, Janine.